right, we're back. We're making a video cooking armadillo eggs. Armadillo eggs are jalapeno peppers stuffed with your choice of cheese. In today's video, we used cream cheese with a barbecue dry rub mixed in with it to give it a little extra flavor in the cream cheese. You then pack sausage, ground sausage around it and wrap it in bacon. So I had a couple extra peppers. I just put some cream cheese on. I'm going to throw them on the smoker and just see how they'll cook. These are what the armadillo eggs look like when they're done. So they're quite meaty. You know, it's a whole handful. A lot of people use them as appetizers for game nights or whatever. This is the first time for me making it. I'm going to be cooking it again on my Pit Boss Platinum Laredo 1000 smoker grill thing. So let's get started. Now, I did a showing of the Pit Boss when I first got it. First, turn the power on. You can hear the fan going. This is the ignition, the sign for ignition. So the heating element inside is going to heat really hot. This is the sign that the auger is feeding pellets to that ignition source. The probe temperature down here, the temperature of the grill itself. So you can see the probe is 1 degree higher because it's actually sticking down into the grill. And the so this is the probe. This is the thermostat for the temperature of the grill. Relatively right about the same. This keeps bouncing from 170, 171 now. So the one thing I've noticed on the smoker itself is smaller items like this, and I'll take them off the pan. I'm not going to cook the pan here. I'm just putting there for display. Smaller items like these armadillo eggs are okay stacking up. If it gets a little too warm on the base grill, you can put it in the middle shelf or up on the top shelf. But if you're doing a larger piece of meat or meats like steak or brisket, you might be better off taking the top shelf right off and putting the brisket on the middle one. That way it's not too close to the heat. Or taking the middle one out and putting the brisket on the bottom, because the shelves are really kind of close together. Only about 4 to 5 inches between the shelves, the width of my fingers. So there's not enough room to flip or move bigger items of meat. So prepare, whatever you're cooking, take a rack out if you need to. Smoker's going good right now. Just laid them out kind of evenly out and dispersed so that they're not on the direct heat. The direct heat is right in the middle of the grill. So with them spread out around the middle and then some on the top rack, I'm hoping they'll all cook at a good even rate. I set the thermostat up to 225. So if you push the button, that shows what it's set at. And then again, your probe, you push it again, 225, push it again to set it. And the actual inside of the oven is 172. So we're going to close it. We're going to let it cook for, I'm going to say about an hour. And then we'll be back, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, there you have it. The grease trap is working perfectly. And I was wondering about that because, as we all know, pork, the sausage and the bacon is a very high fatty, oily content meat. So it's definitely working. After I had put the armadillo eggs on the smoker, I ended up getting my dry rub from the Smoky Bottom Boys all-purpose barbecue seasoning, and I just dashed it on top of them. I ended up flipping them and dashing the bottom side as well, just to give it a little extra flavor on the outside. Maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe the rub will turn into some kind of a caramelization when it mixes with the grease. Let's check it out. I keep hearing the grease splatter, little hissing sounds. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at those. Look at those little peppers. Dash them on there. The peppers are starting to wilt away and shrivel up. Getting cooked really good, and I'm surprised the cream cheese is actually holding its form. It's not oozing out of the peppers. So we'll let them go a little longer, but you hear the sound of the grease dripping. Alright, now I want that bacon on the outside to get nice and crisp. So I'm going to let that grease continue to cook out. I'm going to let that grease continue to cook out so that our bacon can be good and crispy. And Smoky Bottom Boys. I believe this brand of seasoning is made by a local guy here in West Tennessee. So that's really nice rub to have. Good flavor. Right now the inside temperature is 215. Probe is reading at 2.8. Probe is not in anything. You know what? Why don't I stick the probe in one of these? Woo! Hot. Alright, let's see if I can't get the probe through the hole here. There we go. And let's see if we can stick it right inside, and maybe it won't want to. Nope, doesn't want to. Alright, I'll try with my hand. Stick it in this one right on the end. There we go. Okay. So just a little stick in there, and instantly the probe went down to 150. So we'll wait till that internal, oh, and it's dropping 149. We'll wait till the internal temperature of the armadillos are up around, 200, 210, and the cook temp setting I have is 225. So as you can see, the auger and the heat element are going to try and get it up another 10 degrees because I just had the lid open, and it does keep pretty good. It bounces, it varies, 5 degrees over, 5 degrees under the temperature that you set. So I'm very happy. It's not a huge fluctuation. It's not like 10 degrees over or 10 degrees under. You just got to be careful of this little touch button here, because that'll instantly, if you go to grab the dial and you bump it by accident with your pinky or something, use one finger for those of us with big fat fingers. But as far as the Pit Boss Laredo 1000, I have nothing to complain about. As a smoker itself, I think it does a great job. The The only thing I would like more is if it gave more of a smokiness in the oven itself. I've been thinking about getting one of those smoke tubes that you fill pellets in, and you just light one side of it and you just let it smolder. I've been thinking about getting one of those and seeing how that works, if it makes it smokier. But really, it's not bad. And I cooked some bratwurst with peppers and onions on here the other night. That was great. I mean, even my wife said it smells like fair food out here, you know, in the garage. It smelled like you were at the fair eating some junk food, which is, you know, great. Not that great to be eating junk food, but I'm working on my weight and my physical health. I'm not gonna stop eating food, but I'll be eating in portion, and see if I can't get my health under control and my body weight. So I'll check back when the armadillo eggs are getting closer to being done. It's killing me, the smell of these armadillo eggs and the sizzling that I keep hearing of the grease dripping. So hungry right now, but gotta wait. Temperature on the probe, 153. Temperature in the grill, 228. So a little bit of ways to go still on that probe. I want to see if I can get it up to 200. Get everything on the inside all cooked up, nice and juicy. Holy goodness. So I flipped all the armadillo eggs so they can keep cooking on both sides. Sprinkle a little more seasoning on them, and I pulled my cream cheese filled poppers up toward the front here, pull them all together. More over the heat to start cooking better. There's one, kind of like this one. You can see the peppers all wilted and cooked up. And so I pulled it out, put it on the tray, you know, cooked all the armadillo eggs, and put the probe in that one. The probe is reading 143, 144. Oh my goodness. These peppers I'm using, my cousin grew them. She grew a ton and gave them to us because she had so many. Well, you know, we're not going to eat jalapeno peppers that quick. I mean, like buckets full. So my wife cut them in half, you know, cut the stems off, cut the pepper in half, threw them in a freezer bag and threw them in the freezer. Whew. So we took the peppers out of the freezer and thawed them out, and when I was scraping the seeds out of them, I could hardly smell the peppers. You know, my eyes weren't getting watery, my fingers didn't burn. So I figured these peppers were gonna be, you know, really bland and dull from being frozen. Holy cow, I just tried one. It was a little one, and it was pretty well cooked. Usually if they're really well cooked, they're not that hot. This pepper was hot. Whew. So I don't know if, you know, all peppers, you know, are going to be like that, all of them. if they're all this hot, I'm probably the only one that's going to be eating these things, because my wife and kids, they can only do like a little bit of hot, not that much. I don't know if I should tell them or let them figure it out when they get a mouthful. The only problem with letting them figure it out when they get a mouthful is then, you know, that's one less bite for me. So I just went in and got a drink to cool my mouth down. Not too bad. You know, the burn doesn't, it's not like a constant long burning. At least I can take a drink and it goes away. But man, I'll tell you what, the one thing I love about the electric smoker with the wood pellets, the smell. It's not really strong and overwhelming smoke, which sometimes when I do, like with a brisket, I want more smoke, so I'm gonna look into getting, like I said, one of those smoke tubes that I can put pellets in and light it, you know, right inside the grill and let it smolder. But as far as cooking, like I said, I did bratwurst the other day, and now these, the smell of just cooking on the smoker, you get that smoke scent, but it really, and even the chicken I've done, really juicy, tender. I mean, as far as a cooker, this is really the way to go, I think, especially for beginners, because it's so easy to just, you know, set the temperatures and leave it, you know. The chicken that I did in my previous video, I went and mowed the lawn. Don't do that. You know, especially toward the end. Do it more in the beginning. Go mow your lawn and then come back and watch it at the end. But yeah, the brisket I did one brisket, put it on at 11 o'clock at night, and I could sleep perfectly fine knowing that everything's gonna be running by itself. You know, I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about a grease fire, because the way it's designed with that grease trap, there shouldn't be any grease fire. You know, this really, it's a great beginner smoker. Guys who've been doing it longer, or if you went from like me, you went from a charcoal or a wood burning smoker going to a pellet smoker, electric pellet smoker like this, it's almost like a downgrade, because it doesn't take as much skill. It doesn't you don't get the same flavor. It doesn't take the same skill cooking your meat, you know, keeping your temperature and everything. But for beginners, for guys who are like, you know, hey, I want to put something on the grill and I want to mow my lawn and I want to enjoy it, you know, this is the way to enjoy it, because you don't have to do anything. I mean, you can literally sit in your garage and just, you know, watch the neighbors walk their dogs down the road and wave and smile and be that picture perfect guy in the neighborhood, you know, that has a good smell coming out of his garage. So, all right, I'll bring you guys back when we get closer to the end. All right, guys, we're back. Started taking these armadillo eggs off before I remembered to get some video footage of it. So I turned the heat up to 275 degrees to just try and crisp the bacon a little bit on the outside. Ended up getting too hot and almost had a grease fire. I got some dark spots on the bacon, but for the most part, it's really good. The cream cheese has been oozing out of these, which is you know, one thing I've been looking for. Those are the plain half peppers with cream cheese in it. So right now I got it on smoke setting, and it really does do good on smoke setting. The problem with the smoke setting is it's not hot enough to cook anything. If you're going to smoke it, you got to leave it on for like 24 hours really. But as you can see here, the cream cheese is just juice dripping right out of them. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some more of these off. And some, like this one, you know, it doesn't look like it's overcooked anywheres on it. Didn't get hit by that little little flame that was starting with a grease fire. But I was looking for the crispiness, and that's why I turned it up. So I am definitely going to let these rest for probably 15-20 minutes at least to cool down enough before I go ahead and dig into them. Go about here. So there you have it. You have the jalapeno poppers on the grill, the classic, you know, cheese and a pepper, and then you have the armadillo egg poppers, which, like I told you before, are wrapped in sausage and bacon, so more of a meaty bite. So I'm going to let these rest. I'm going to turn the grill up as hot as it can go to burn off the residue of the grease and cheese that spilt out, so I can make sure it's nice and clean for next time. And that's one thing I haven't shown you too, is pulling it apart before you start it, and just taking your shop vac and vacuuming the ash dust from the wood pellets. There's not a whole lot, and it's really simple. If you do it before you cook, everything will be, you know, cool room temperature. After you cook, you know, everything's hot, you're just going to want to leave it. But I'm going to turn my temperature up as high as it can go. So the hottest setting is 450 before it just goes H for high. So I'm going to leave it on high. I'm going to open my grate so the flame can come right up in and burn all the excess off. I'll let that burn off for probably 10 minutes. Go inside for another 5 or 10 minutes and let these rest. And then I'll be back for the cutting open and taste testing. Whoa! I cut it open. I cut it open and I licked off of the knife, the juice off the knife. Yes. It is super, super hot. I might throw these back on the grill and just let them slow cook all night long just to cook the heat out of the peppers. Whoa, unbelievable. All right, I just tried another one of those peppers with the cream cheese in it. They're still hot. I can eat them, they're bearable, but they're hot. I may, even after smoking these armadillo eggs all night, I may have to still cut the peppers out to just eat the meat. I called my other cousin, the sibling to the one who gave me these peppers, and I explained it to him because he likes hot peppers. So I says, hey, listen, your sister gave me these wicked hot peppers. And he says, oh yeah. He says, I don't know if it's the variety she grows or the soil or what, but apparently she's known to grow these wicked hot peppers, and they should not be that hot. So it's not just me. Everybody knows, at least in his family, in their family, know that she grows hot peppers, which took me by surprise. I had no clue. Well, there you have it. That's gonna wrap up my video. Long story short, I'm not gonna eat my cousin's peppers probably ever again. Very, very hot. I'm just gonna go to the local supermarket and get plain jalapeno peppers that are not abnormally hot. And that wraps up the show for today.